What is up, everyone? Returning duelist in. Today we have the top deck list number 1 from the YCS Prague, the 60 card Paleozoic Frogs right here, Joshua Schmidt's deck. So if you didn't get a chance to watch the final game, it was Joshua Schmidt's against Billy Briggs' 60 card Inferno deck. It was crazy. So head on to YouTube and watch it right now. So yeah, his deck list is right here. Let's check it out. One copy of Mathematician. So it basically acts like a trap because what this does is it sends the King Backjack into the grave to fetch you another trap. And King Backjack is an insane card. We'll get to that next. He plays 8 copies of the Frog, so 3 Swap Frogs, 2 copies of Ronin Totem, and 3 copies of Dupe Frog. And now 3 copies of Absolute King Backjack. This card really put the deck on its back. So when this card gets sent to the grave, you can take a look at the top 3 cards of your deck and place them in any order. And after that, you can banish this card, and you can get the top card on your deck, set it if it's a trap, and activate at the same turn. It's insane, a Paleozoic Frog deck. And again, 3 copies of Lawnmowing Next Door, so it's very good against any non-60 card decks. 3 copies of Potted Desires gives you more draw power, and you're not that afraid of banishing 10 cards in a 60 card deck. 3 copies of Card of Demise lets you draw cards until you have 3 in your hand. So basically, just set your cards, draw 3, and you can discard anything that you don't need. So you can even discard the King Backjack for more advantage. And another copy of Foolish Burial, which sends a trap and this one sends a monster into the graveyard, which is your King Backjack most of the time, and that acts as a trap basically. And now 2 copies of the Paleozoic Trap card, which lets you send banished cards back into the grave. It's very good because in a lot of the matchups, after side decking, they'll play DD Crow, and they'll try to banish and try to banish Paleozoic Frogs, Paleozoic Trap cards. Well, you can use this card and get them back. Same with Ronin Totem as well. 2 copies of Forbidden Apocrypha, extremely good against zoos. Anytime they have their Drancia +1, it's very hard to not get Apocrypha. But the thing is, if they do go into Drancia, the Drancia can pop one of their own monsters, and the Apocrypha would not resolve. 3 copies of the Paleozoic MST, and 3 copies of Reckless Greed, and 3 copies of Deinonychus. This one is discard 1 card and get banished 1 card face-up card on the field. 5 copies of the different mirror forces. So you have 3 Quaking. This one is you set the monster into face-down defense position, and they cannot change their battle positions. And 2 copies of the mirror force, just a regular one. 1 copy of Torrential Tribute, and 3 copies of Fiend Grieving. This card is insane in combo with the Absolute Backjack. You basically get to send the Absolute Backjack from your deck into your grave while targeting one of the opponent's monsters in the graveyard and shuffling to the deck. So let's say the opponent uses Dagusto Emerald to try to send 3 into the deck and draw 1 card. With this, you can disrupt and stop the Emerald's effect while sending a Blackjack into the grave. And then Morella, 3 copies. You can send Lost Wind, or in a lot of the matches against Denko Seka, in the draw phase of the opponent, you can actually use Morella, send the breakthrough skill into the grave so that the next turn, when it's your turn, you can set cards and activate cards, or whenever you need, because the breakthrough skill will be activated from the grave. 3 copies of Lost Wind. This card is very good, especially if you activate in the damage step against Zodiacs when they attack. 3 copies of Dimensional Barriers. No explanation needed there. 1 copy is compulsory. 3 copies of Canadia. This one is basically a Book of Moon trap. And 3 copies of Sullen Strike. And for the extra deck, you have Downward Magician for the extra damage, Drancia, as well as Boar. This one is for when you're totally awesome negates one of the Zodiacs, you can go into the Zodiac yourself. And the Boar is just basically if you negate the Drancia, you can actually go into your own Boar and then the Drancia, since you cannot overlay a Drancia on top of a Drancia. And then 1 copy of the Paleozoic Frog that requires 3 level 2 monsters. This one allows you to pop 1 card. And he never made this, but this was the number 45, which kind of negates a face-up card. Face-up card on the field while this card is on the field. 3 copies is totally awesome. This is such a good card, negates everything, and you get to set it yourself. It's so broken right now, and the new ban list did not hit it. And 2 copies of Sky Cavalry. This is for outs against heavy beat sticks or cards that are immune to destruction effects. Basically, you summon it, you attack it, and then you bounce the monster back. And 1 copy of Dagusto Phoenix plus the Cat Shark. This allows you to combo up and do a 6,000 damage OTK. And then 2 copies of Opabina. This one lets you search for a Paleozoic Frog trap card and add it to your hand, and also allows you to activate Paleozoic trap cards from your hand. And 1 F0, again, to overlay 2 of the same rank 2 monsters, and lets you take control of the opponent. Now to the side deck, he side decked 1 Regeki and 2 Dark Hosts for the Denko Sekka, 3 copies of Twin Twisters just to get rid of back rows, 1 more Forbidden Apocrypha against Zoo, 1 Breakthrough Skill for Denko Sekka, and 3 Anti-Spell Fragrance for Pendulum Monsters, which is most likely Metal Foes, because they just got the Bamboo card in the new set. And Wiretap is very good against traps, and 1 Solemn Warning. So yeah, that's the deck list of the first place Josh Schmidt 60 deck Paleozoic Frog at YCS Prague. Congratulations, he beat Billy Break in a stunning 2-0 fashion. It was a crazy game.